Hello everybody and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, where we're continuing from where we left off. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same thing. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her. And even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Ellie doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other for a long enough time that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of run for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damned medication. I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that. Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person. The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her on the head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me, as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her air. It smells like sweet, or how adrenaline should smell. It's a scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medication, that's all. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You sure? Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on the top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Sal. Emmy, you going to come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and naps. Course not. I'll see you later, okay? Oh, and Hassan? Take your damn medication, or medicine. This last phrase is punctuated by a punch on the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again like he's in on some joke I don't know about, and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one. If the thoughts running through my head now are any indication, she was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it into my room. I swallow them down without a second thought. I don't know why I don't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figure it was when I woke up, or not at all. But now they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thought drifts back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird, you expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason Emmy smelled Right. The tinge of sweet just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. Good, 'cause you stink. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm gonna take a shower, and I say, good, 'cause you stink. Strange that it feels so natural to me for me to go to the roof these days. I never would have done such a thing at my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. Though I liked to sit alone, I also liked to watch people. I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart. So there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they are both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone at my old school. Somehow I get the feeling that they'd at least visit me if I wound up in the hospital. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thought from my head. There's a light breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue and with hardly a cloud in it. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing. Seems he's fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking to lull us into a false sense of security. Why would he do that? No idea. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure he's really asleep. Huh? What? Amy looms over me like a short girl can, peering at me intently. Oh, you're awake. I guess we don't have to kick you then. Was it part of your master plan? What are you talking about? Amy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with the motion. I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. I thought it was pretty comfortable, I suppose. She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us. What? A move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she pursed her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if she would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice perhaps for the first time how she laughs when her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time that I realize Emmy's looking at me. Her voice raised slightly, so she probably just asked me a question. Huh? Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a moment there. Emmy rolls her eyes with a slight quirk in her eyebrow, is to show that Rin's even paying attention. I said, did you get a career survey in your class too? You know, the ones that what do you want to do after high school things? I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow. What are you going to put down? That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but I have no idea what I want to do once I got there. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really be concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it'd be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I've got absolutely no clue. I always kind of assumed I'd figure it out in college. That or just become a salaryman. That's pretty popular. But do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't know. I don't really want to do anything. You don't sound very excited about that one, do you? She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught up in her laugh again. It's so girlish, high and giggly, like a, well, pardon my cliche, like a babbling brook. It bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with the salaryman idea. But to be honest, I haven't given much thought to my future recently. I suppose that these days I've been more concentrated on living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins. That's a pretty good idea, Hasao. I just wrote down pirate. I'm moderately stunned, and then I started laughing. I stopped myself and managed to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended. Well, I've got no legs for it already, so I kinda just... Even Rin seems amused by this. Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my pirate voice. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop shouting orders. Yar, me hearties! Give me a boat side with the long guns. We'll wear their guts for garters. Do you even know what that means? Rin's unexpectedly interruption stops Emmy in her tracks. Not really. But it's all in the delivery. The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the rooftop. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope, I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to... I don't know. But I don't. Great, she saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring, I was just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really, I was just distracted is all. Eager to end the conversation, I head back down to class. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. Well, Shizune looks like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing at any minute. Up on the roof again, Hichan. You know that's dangerous, don't you? That's right. The sloop cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes from being there, you know. Furthermore, we could not report you for breaking the rules. We could report you. Misha leans in to whisper conspirationally. But we won't, Hichan. You three are too cute together. She straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush. Wah-hee-hee-hee-hee. You're too easy to tease, Hichan. Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. Isn't it mean to pick on a newcomer like this? Nope. It's to help you assimilate to your new surroundings. I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it? Yep. And that aside, Hichan, We were looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room. Of course I wasn't. I was out on the morning exercise, or here in class, bright and early. Unlike you. Shizun looks peeved, and a bit later, so does Misha. Or she tries to, at any rate. That was because of the student council business. You should be grateful that we worked so hard for you. Oh, I am. So what did you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me into your dirty work, I hope. We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room. Something? Like what? Oh, you'll find out when you get back, Chan. Wah-hey-hey-hey-hey. Matao entering the room ends the conversation, and we all head to our seats. It's only after I've settled down at my desk, and the teacher started talking about something or other, that something odd strikes me. What did Ren mean you two seemed to? Was Emmy staring at something too? For a brief moment, I considered the possibility that Emmy was staring at me, the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind if it was true. But it's not best to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it, and focus on the lesson. After class, I make my way to my room. Matao really piled on the homework today. Before I can open my door, however, I am suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who just exploded out of his own room in a flurry of papers. Hey, we need to talk. These rooftop shenanigans of yours, man, they gotta stop. What? You're running around on the rooftop with limbless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that. I don't follow. Kenji signs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently. Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing him off the roof and making it look like an accident. And if I thought of it, you can be sure that you thought of it too. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am. I see. Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen. I'm sorry? I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day. The tap water's been compromised. So I'm sure you know, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something canned, got it? But to do that, I need 500 yen. And since I just saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me 500 yen. You know, if it makes him go away, 500 yen is a bargain. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods and thanks and dashes off down the hallway, but not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person. I'd better go in case he changes his mind. As I close the door, my heel taps against something flying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper, and this must be the something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she slid under the door. However, when I pick it up, I find I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow morning's run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit to my desk to examine it properly. It's the first piece of mail I received here at Yamako, so it feels special even if it was something as rare as handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name on the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Hold on 1 second. Let me move myself a little bit. Iwakano. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwako is the last person I expect wanted to write me a letter. The last time I saw Awababa was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't even look me in the eye when she closed the door. It must have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I could never figure out the right words to say. I think Iwaako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two very different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been her, the sooner or later, something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened the door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully I opened the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of the second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year. So we're pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year, would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think we are already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. Yeah, I think I have quite enough of this. I crumpled up the sheet of paper and tossed it across the room. My aim is off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going into my wastebasket. That was an apology for abandoning me, except I don't know that I really need it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here, now I've got other things on my mind. Amy, for starters. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital in what feels like forever, until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. La na na do 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 do. La na na. So what's the plan for today anyway? I'm waiting patiently at the girls' dormitory just outside of Emmy's Rin's room. Emmy is apparently helping Rin with getting dressed. I suppose that makes sense since I have no idea how Rin got dressed otherwise. Picnic! Picnic? That's what I said. Sounds pretty exciting. I know, right? Rin chooses this moment to make an observation. The sky seems threatening today. Actually, I noticed that too, on my over. Despite the sunshine of the early morning, the afternoon seems to have taken a turn for the gloomy. There's a heaviness to the air, as well as the usual heralds a rainstorm. I wonder if I should have brought my umbrella. She's got a point. Emmy, you sure you still don't want to risk getting caught in the rain? I don't even know why I bothered asking. Emmy pops out of Rin's room into the hallway looking shocked that I suggested canceling our plans. Of course! What, the threat of rain's supposed to stop me? I can't help but grin at her belligerent response. It's almost like she's daring the rain to come. If Mother Nature was walking down the street, I think Emmy would probably start a fight with her. Or at least challenge her to a race. In fact, Emmy seems almost aggressively cheerful today. Rin wanders out of the hallway, looking her usual self. Well then, are we ready? Are we all ready to go? I'm ready. Rin nods and says a single word. Basket. Beg pardon? The basket in Emmy's room, you should carry it. Emmy claps a hand to her mouth, embarrassed. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot all about it. Nice save, Rin. Emmy darts into her room and emerges with what looks like a very well-stocked picnic basket. As she hands it over to me, I note that it feels heavy enough to be one, two. Good lord, how much food does she pack? More to the point, where does she get the money for all this? So are we set to head out? Yep. Rin gives another nod and we head out of the dormitory. I can't help but frown when I notice how gray the skies got in 10 minutes I was inside. Still, Emmy doesn't seem concerned by such petty concerns, as the colors of the sky. She's positively skipping as we walk. Which reminds me, where are we going? This brings Emmy up short, and she shoots me an embarrassed look. You know, I hadn't really thought of that. What do you think, Katawa? Well, there's the spot where we ate during the festival, but it might be nice to leave the campus for a while. However, I'm not sure if there's any good places to do that in town. Just as I was about to open my mouth, Rand unexpectedly interjects with a suggestion. There's a park in town near the art shop. Great idea, Rand. I totally forgot about that place. Crisis averted. Do you know how to get there, Rin? Rin shrugs. It's pretty likely. Good enough for me. I'd prefer knowing for sure, but what the hell. Lead on, Rin. The three of us quickly make our way off campus to take the roadside down into town. The basket's a bit heavy. I hope the park is close by. We pass the art supply store, Rin slowing her pace as we go by. Emmy notices Rin's change of pace and stops. You want to go in, Rin? Rin shrugs. Nothing I need. Are you sure? There's the slightest fluster of a smile on Rin's face, quickly replaced by her usual expression. Life's uncertain, but on this, at least, I'm pretty sure. Nice of you to offer. Well, it's not like I'm the one carrying the basket. But I'll bet Hisao wouldn't mind anyway, right? Oh, of course not. This is hardly a heavy load. I flex my emphasis. I flex for emphasis. Emmy stifles a snort of laughter by pointing to the park at which we've suddenly arrived. Oh, I remember this place. I ran into you here that one time, didn't I, Rin? Rin's eyebrow raises slightly. Maybe. I'm unwilling to say for certain one way or the other. Memory's a tricky thing, you know? Well, I'll be. We made it in one piece after all. The sun's still nowhere to be seen, but neither Emmy or Rin seems to mind. We find a spot to sit on the grass, and I set the basket down gratefully. There's a surprising amount of food prepared. Maybe we were supposed to be joined by some of Emmy's teammates or something. I'm starving. Dig in. She attacks the food as if she had nothing to eat for years. I'm just reaching for food myself when I feel the first drop of rain land on the back of my head. Uh-oh. Looks like the weather's not going to cooperate with us after all. Emmy glares at the sky as if that alone will hold back the rain. I very nearly believe she can do it. It's one heck of a glare. It had better cooperate. You hear me, Sky? You stop that raining right this instant! The Sky doesn't seem inclined to listen to her, despite the commanding tone she's taken with it. Indeed, the rain seems to increase. Instead, the rain seems to increase. Rin wrinkled her nose in distance as at this turn of events. Regrettable. What do you mean? Rin shrugs. I could paint this if I weren't out here. Shame to miss it all. She doesn't seem angry or annoyed about it, just a little disappointed. Emmy laughs in response to Rin's comment. Guess we should have stopped by the art supply store after all, huh? The rain increases a little more, offended that we haven't fled yet. Despite the warm temperatures we've been enjoying, the rain is rather cold. I wish I'd brought my umbrella. Hey, we should probably head inside to keep dry. Yeah, we're pretty wet, Hisao. Yeah, but we can dry off this way and maybe wait for the storm. You don't want to catch a cold or anything, do you? Emmy considers this for a while. I can tell that part of her wants to stay out in the rain just to spite the weather. Unfortunately for her, the weather hardly cares about what we do. I suppose you're right. Where could we go? I don't have an answer for her. The area is still pretty new to me. Well, I guess I'm slowly getting used to the school itself. The surrounding town remains a mystery. All I know is the art supply store, and that's only because we've just passed it. Fortunately, Emmy soon snaps her fingers in triumph. That's it. There's a tea shop nearby. We could have some tea and dry out. No problem. That doesn't seem like a bad idea. Great. You know where it is? Emmy nods, looking fairly confident. Sure do. I think. But it'll be adventure either way, right? Adventure, huh? Well, I suppose we could use a little adventure. I think as long as we get out of the rain, I'll be happy. The picnic basket is a little lighter now, at least. Lead on. Ren and I followed Emmy as she weaves through the streets with something approaching confidence. Now a left here. There, the Shanghai. Emmy beams triumphantly as she points at the tea shop. It seems fairly crowded inside, a symptom of the sudden rain, I'm sure. Welcome, I'm surprised to find out our waitress is none other than Yuko. She looks She sure looks the part in her uniform. It's hard to believe that this is the same librarian from the school. Does she work two jobs? I guess that must be it. Oh, it's you! Yuko seems to know Emmy. Emmy grins brightly, pleased to be remembered. Hey, Yuko! Hey, Yuko, I didn't know you worked here too. Do I know you? You seem awfully familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen you in here. We met at your other job, at Yamako Library, remember? Her eyes widened in memory. Yeah, that's it. Nice to see you again. Oh no, this is bad. I should have remembered a customer's face. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Yuko goes from realization to panic in a split second, performing a series of high-speed bows. I narrowly avoid getting headbutted in the process. Whoa, hey, calm down. Listen, I wasn't a customer when we first met. In fact, I hadn't ever been to the Shanghai, so it's alright. Not the best display of logic, but it seems to relax her a little. Do you really think so? Yeah, I'm sure, I'm positive. Isn't that right, girls? Emmy has been watching this little drama unfold with considerable amusement. Bemusement. Yep, it sure is. Well, okay. So, Yuko, got room to seat us? Yuko nods and leads us to a corner booth, providing us with some small towels before taking our order. What will you have? Cake. And some tea too, I guess. What kind of cake? Surprise me. Yuko looks uncomfortable at the thought of surprising anyone, but she gives a nod and turns to Rin. And for you? I'll take a straw. My feet are all wet. Sorry? The drinking kind of straw. One, please. Yuko is obviously uncertain of what to think about this. She fiddles with her pen and stationary for a moment, looking like she's about to cry before turning in my direction. And you, sir? Just tea, I think. Emmy would probably yell at me if I ordered cake. Oh, come on, Hisao, don't let me... Oh, what? Oh, come on, Hisao, don't let me be the only one with food. I'll feel like a pig. Just trying to eat healthy. Your orders, after all. Well, today is your day off. You can be healthy tomorrow. Well then, I suppose I'll have some cake after all. Yuko seems slightly irritated that I'm changing my mind. What kind? I glance at Emmy and grin. Surprise me. Yuko sighs and nods. Very well. Your order will be out soon. Despite the crowd, our order does indeed arrive quickly. Thanks, Yuko. Yuko nods in appreciation. This is a different guy than usual, isn't it? What? Different guy? Emmy must notice my confusion because she looks a little embarrassed. What? Oh yeah, I guess he is. This is my friend Hisao. We've met. Huh? Small world. Well, let me know if you need anything. With that, Yuko takes off like a shot to wait on some other tables, leaving me to ponder her comment. Different guy, huh? I guess that makes sense, right? Emmy's pretty popular, so I've been told. It's probably that kid from the track team. This is stupid. I just can't ask Emmy. I just can ask Emmy. So who's this other guy, huh? You got a secret lover or something? Emmy laughs again, only I get the feeling it's from nervousness as much as anything else. It's just a track team captain. He likes coming down here after practice sometimes. So if we have anything to discuss, I tag along. Hmm. Sounds mighty suspicious to me. Oh, I see. I could let the matter drop, but I can't resist the letting of at least getting another dig in. So it is a secret lover. I knew it! Wynn watches our play, seeming mildly amused before muttering something that I don't quite catch. Yeah, anyway. What? Huh? Rin jerks back from whatever her mind wandered off to. Huh? What did you just say? Huh? No, before that. No idea. Oh well. Okay. I let the matter drop, but I can't help notice that Emmy seems relieved that Rin interrupted the conversation. Maybe I went a little too far. Conversation dies down for a moment as Emmy and I busy ourselves with cake. Mine is strawberry. It's surprisingly good. Emmy seems to think so too as she suddenly reaches over it with her fork to steal a bite. Steal a bit. Thief! Pirate. There's a difference. We're not on water. Well, no, but there's a lot of water outside, so it still works, right? Besides, you can have some of mine. I think it's cranberry or something. I should have asked for strawberry. I like strawberries. Feel free to help yourself to mine, if you really must. For some reason, I feel compelled to add, seeing as you already done it once and all. Emmy sticks her tongue out at me, but that doesn't stop her from approaching my cake. I try some of hers as well. Well, with this, I think that's good enough for an episode, so next time we'll continue this conversation. See you guys later.